Someone uploaded a harmless file, dared Anons to open it, then disappeared from every platform. Now, all that's left is the reactions. On LurmoStories, we read what they saw, or say they saw. Turn the volume up, and don't say you weren't warned. A non-homeowner here, suburban Midwest, the kind of street where nothing ever happens and everyone pretends to like it that way. Our HOA rolled out an app last year. Dues, announcements, complaints, all centralized. Annoying, but easier than paper notices taped to mailboxes. I installed it, turned on notifications, forgot about it. Trash pickup is Wednesdays, always has been. Same truck, same guys, same routine. I put my bins out Tuesday night like everyone else. Wednesday morning, I hear the truck, watch it roll past from the kitchen window, bins get emptied. Normal. Around noon, my phone buzzes. HOA app. Missed trash pickup scheduled. Friday, 6 a.m. At first, I thought it was a generic notice. I open it. It's addressed to my address specifically. My name, my unit number. It says my trash was not set out properly and a courtesy pickup was scheduled. I check the bins. They're empty, lids closed, back by the garage. No tags, no warnings. I message the HOA chat. Hey, I got a missed pickup notice, but trash was collected this morning. No response. That's not unusual. The HOA president works nights and answers whenever. Thursday evening, while taking the dog out, I notice something off. My trash bin is back at the curb. I know I didn't put it there. Lid slightly open, empty. I assume I forgot. That happens. I roll it back. Friday morning, 5:58 a.m. I'm awake because my phone buzzes again. HOA app. Missed pickup in progress. I look outside. No truck. Street's quiet.
Porch lights still on, up and down the block. Then another buzz. Violation logged. Bin contained prohibited material. That gets my attention. I open the details. No photo, no description. Just a timestamp and a note saying, resident advised to remove item. I open the front door. Cold air, quiet street. My bin is at the curb again. Lid open wider this time. Inside is a black trash bag I don't recognize, tied with red twine. No smell, no leaks. Just sitting there, neat, like someone placed it carefully. I don't open it. I drag the bin back, bag and all, heart beating faster than it should for trash. Inside, the app updates one more time. Resident acknowledged. I never tapped anything. I didn't sleep much, but not in a dramatic way. Just light, broken naps, like before a flight. By morning, I'd convinced myself it was some clerical glitch mixed with a bored neighbor trying to be funny. I left the bag in the bin. Touching it felt like crossing a line I didn't need to cross. Around 9 a.m., I opened the app again. There's a new tab I've never seen before. Compliance history. It lists dates going back months. Missed pickups, improper placement, lid ajar, excess debris. All on days I clearly remember taking the trash out correctly. Most entries have no photos. A few do. One photo shows my bin open at night. Streetlight glow. Timestamp says 2:14 a.m. Another shows the bin half full, but the contents aren't mine. Different bags, different color ties.
One image is zoomed in on the inside of the lid. There's a chalk mark there, a short white line, like someone marked it quickly and wiped most of it away. I check my actual bin. Same faint line. I never noticed it before. I call the waste company. The woman on the phone sounds tired but polite. She says there's no record of a missed pickup for my address, no courtesy truck scheduled. When I mention the HOA app, she pauses. That's not our system, she says. We don't integrate with private apps. At lunch, I run into my neighbor, Tom, while checking the mail. I ask him if he's had any trash issues. He hesitates, says yeah, a couple weird notices, says he ignored them because nothing ever came of it. Then he asks me, very casually, if I've found anything yet. I ask what he means. He just shakes his head and says the app updates faster if you don't fight it. That night, I take the bin out myself. I watch the street. Houses quiet, curtains drawn. I don't go inside right away. I sit on the porch and scroll the app. A notification pops up while I'm looking at the bin in real time. HOA app, item still present. I open the bin. The black bag is gone. Instead, at the bottom, there's a flattened cardboard box, Amazon logo, my name printed on the label. It's dated next week. I don't bring the box inside. I leave it in the bin and walk back into the house like nothing's wrong. Lock the door. Sit at the kitchen table until the sun goes down. The app doesn't buzz again that night. that almost makes it worse. Saturday morning, there's an HOA notice taped to my door. Physical paper, pale yellow. No envelope, no name signed. Just a reminder about proper waste compliance. And a line that says, "Next violation will result in corrective action." Corrective action isn't defined anywhere. I check the app. My compliance score is visible now, a number out of 100. Mine is 62, red. There's a neighborhood average listed below it, 91. When I tap the average, I can see anonymized dots on a map. Green, mostly. A few yellow. One red dot. Mine. Later that afternoon, a pickup truck I don't recognize idles at the corner for a while. 2 guys inside. No logos. One of them gets out, walks slowly past my house, glances at the bins by the garage, then keeps going. That evening, the app sends a reminder. HOA app. Trash must be placed curbside by 9 p.m. I don't have trash. I already took it out. I ignore it. At 9:07, another alert. HOA app. Non-compliance noted. I look outside. My bin is at the curb again. Lid open. The Amazon box is standing upright now, like someone wanted it to be seen. I finally open it. Inside is nothing dangerous. No body parts, no notes. Just trash. Crumpled paper towels, an empty bottle of cleaner. Food wrappers I don't buy. All dry, all neatly arranged. At the bottom is a printed sheet. Corrective action scheduled. Monday. I don't wait for Monday. Sunday morning, I uninstall the app. Log into the HOA website to opt out of digital services. I get an error saying changes are pending review. By evening, my compliance score updates anyway. 58. Monday morning, a different truck comes down the street. Not the city one. White. Unmarked. It stops in front of my house. 2 guys get out and start moving bins. All of them. Lining them up. Measuring spacing. Marking lids with chalk. One of them looks at me and says, "You're almost done." I ask, "With what?" He taps my bin and says, "Participation." The app buzzes in my pocket. I deleted it, but the notification still comes through. HOA app. Thank you for helping keep the community clean. By Tuesday, my score is green. The box is gone. The chalk mark stays. I still put my trash out. I don't check the app anymore. But every Wednesday, my bin is already at the curb when I wake up. Part 1/Anon post. I live in a single-family place outside Columbus. Quiet street, same trucks every Tuesday, same neighbors pretending not to look at each other's trash. I'm careful with recycling. Rinse cans, break boxes. The city fines hard if you screw it up. 2 weeks ago, I rolled the blue bin to the curb like normal. Nothing unusual inside. Cardboard, aluminum, plastic jugs, no metal bigger than a soda can. I went to work. When I got home, there was a bright orange tag zip-tied to the handle. Incorrect sort, wrong big metal item detected. Repeat violation may result in service suspension. I figured it was a mistake. The truck's arm jams sometimes, sensors glitch. I pulled the bin back and opened it right there on the driveway. Same stuff I remembered. No scrap, no appliances, no pipes. I even dug down to the bottom. Just wet cardboard and a soup can. My neighbor Mark was outside smoking. I asked if he saw anything weird. He said, "Nah, they didn't even dump yours. Truck just paused, guy looked at a tablet, then drove off." That bothered me more than the tag. I called the city line. The woman sounded bored. She said the truck flagged my bin for a large ferrous anomaly. I asked what that meant. She said it meant there was a big metal object detected during pickup scan. I told her there wasn't. She said, "Sir, the system doesn't flag empty space." That night, I rinsed everything again and left the bin in the garage. I wanted to be sure. The next morning, the lid was open. I know I closed it. I remember pushing it down until it clicked against the rim. Still, I told myself wind or raccoons or me being tired. Inside the bin, on top of the cardboard, was an orange tag identical to the first one. Fresh zip tie. Same wording, same warning. No truck had been there. I checked the cameras on my garage. Motion alerts showed nothing, just static frames where time jumped ahead a few minutes like the recording skipped. The following Tuesday, I put the bin out again. I stood at the window and watched the truck come down the street. When it reached my driveway, the arm didn't grab the bin. The driver leaned out and looked directly at my house, not the bin, like he was confirming an address. He shook his head once and drove on. An hour later, I found a third tag. This one had handwriting under the printed text. Remove item before next scan, part 2, a non-post. I didn't sleep much, but not in a dramatic way. Just kept replaying the wording in my head. Next scan. Like the bin was being checked even when the truck wasn't there. Wednesday after work, I emptied the bin completely. Everything went into contractor bags. I hosed it out, tipped it upside down, even ran a magnet along the inside like an idiot. Nothing stuck. Plastic and grime, that's it. I left the bin upside down in the garage overnight. Thursday morning, it was upright again. No new tag this time, just a faint scraping mark on the concrete, like it had been dragged instead of rolled. My garage door log didn't show any openings. Camera still skips time in the same 10-minute block around 3:40 a.m. I called the city again, different guy. I gave him the address and he went quiet longer than normal typing. Then he said, "Sir, are you sure this is a single-family residence?" I said yes. He said their system showed my bin as shared infrastructure. I asked, with who? He said he couldn't see that field, just that it was flagged as externally populated. I asked him to explain that. He said, it means something is being added between scans. That night, I sat in the kitchen with the lights off, looking through the back door window at the bin in the driveway. I wanted to catch someone. Neighbor kids, prank, whatever. Around midnight, I heard a low sound outside. Not footsteps, more like metal shifting weight. I cracked the door an inch. The bin lid was lifting itself slowly, stopping, then lifting again, like something inside was adjusting. No hands, no shadow big enough to explain it, just the lid moving, then settling. I shut the door and locked it. Friday morning, there was another tag. This one was red. Final notice, unauthorizational metal present. Item will be collected. Under it, written in marker, smaller letters, do not retrieve after removal. I pulled the bin into the garage and wedged it behind my lawnmower. I didn't take it out Tuesday. I called in sick and stayed home. At 9:17 a.m., a truck I didn't recognize stopped in front of my house. No city logo. Just gray sides and a recycling emblem I hadn't seen before. Two men got out. Same uniforms, same height, moving like mirrors. One walked to the bin. The other stood in my driveway, looking straight at my front door camera. The one at the bin knocked once on the plastic lid. Not on the door, on the bin. Then he said, calm and loud enough to hear through the wall, "Sir, please don't interfere with the collection process." The lid pushed upward from the inside, hard enough this time that the bin rocked. The man stepped back and added, "It's heavier when you notice it." I didn't answer. The truck stayed there for 11 minutes. When it left, the bin was still in my garage, but it was dented inward, like something large had pressed against the sides, trying to get out. Taped to it was a final label. No warning colors, just white. Scan rescheduled. Part 3, a non-post. After that, I stopped calling anyone. I knew better than to try explaining it again. Instead, I waited. Sunday night, the bin alarmed my phone. Not motion, weight change. The smart tag the city rolled out last year. I forgot it even had that feature. It said the bin's mass increased by 93 pounds in under a minute. I didn't go out there. I watched the camera feed instead. At 3:41 a.m., the image skipped like before, but this time it came back early. The bin lid was open. Inside wasn't darkness. It was dull gray, curved, like the inside of a tank or a vault door. Too smooth to be trash, too large to fit. The lid tried to close. It couldn't. Something inside shifted again. The plastic creaked. The wheels lifted off the ground and settled back down. Monday morning, there was no tag, just a printed notice taped to my front door. Collection confirmed. Thank you for your cooperation. I checked the garage. The bin was gone, not stolen. The floor was clean under it, like it had never been there. No scrape marks, no dirt outline. I thought that was the end. Tuesday came and went. No truck, no bin. The next week, I found a brand new blue bin at the curb. No address sticker, no serial number. Lid already closed. I didn't touch it. That afternoon, Mark knocked on my door. He looked nervous. asked if I'd switched recycling providers. I said no. He said his bin got tagged that morning. Same orange label, same wording. He asked what wrong big metal item meant. I told him it was probably a sensor error. That night, I heard the sound again. Metal settling. Not from my driveway, from his. I checked the city website. My address no longer showed a recycling account. Status fulfilled. Mark texted me around 4 a.m. Just one message. Did you put something in my bin? I didn't reply. By morning, his bin was gone. There's still one on my curb. Always empty, always clean. It shows up every week even though I never roll it out. Sometimes, late at night, the lid lifts just enough to let air escape, and something inside shifts, like it's waiting for the next house to finish sorting.
Anon here. This isn't a joke post. I walked into a small alterations shop off a strip mall in New Jersey. Nail salon on one side, insurance office on the other. The tailor's place had sun-faded mannequins in the window wearing outdated suits. Bell over the door rang when I stepped in. Smelled like steam, chalk, old fabric. Old guy behind the counter. Gray hair, wire glasses, tape measure around his neck. No smile, but not unfriendly. Told him I needed a jacket taken in, nothing special. He nodded and asked me to hang it on the rack. He didn't ask my name. He didn't ask when I needed it. He just picked up the tape measure. I stood there, arms down, waiting for instructions. He didn't say anything, just stepped closer and measured my shoulders, then my chest, then my waist. He stopped halfway through and frowned. Still the same, he said. I laughed a little and told him it was my first time there. He looked at me over his glasses. No, he said, you've been here. I told him I hadn't. I'm careful about that kind of thing. Never been tailored in my life. He turned back to the counter, pulled open a shallow drawer, and took out a narrow index card. Yellowed, soft at the corners. It had measurements written in pencil. Chest, sleeve, inseam, weight range, posture note. At the top was my last name, spelled correctly. Below it, in smaller writing, walks heavy on left heel. I asked him where he got that. He said, you came in after the storm. I told him he had the wrong person.
He shook his head and tapped the card. You argued about the cuffs, same as now. I didn't remember arguing. I hadn't said anything about cuffs. He flipped the card over. On the back was a date from 6 years ago, and a note, customer didn't come back for pickup. I asked what happened to the jacket. He looked past me toward the fitting rooms in the back. The curtain there was half open, no light inside. You left it, he said. Happens. I told him I didn't leave anything. He slid the card back into the drawer and finally asked for my phone number. I gave him a fake one. He didn't write it down. When I reached for my jacket to leave, he stopped me and said, this one will fit better. You've narrowed since last time. I asked how he knew that. He said, you're standing straighter now. I walked out without answering. The bell rang again. Halfway to my car, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Text message, no greeting. Your jacket is still here. I didn't reply to the text. Sat in the car for a minute with the engine off, watching the shop through the windshield. The mannequins hadn't moved. No one came in or out. Another message came through. Sleeves were pinned already. You wanted it slim. I blocked the number and drove home. That night, I dug through old photos. Phones get replaced, laptops die, but cloud backups don't forget. I searched for pictures from 6 or 7 years ago. Parties, holidays, random mirror shots. There was a photo I didn't remember taking. Bathroom mirror. Cheap suit jacket. On me. Dark blue, sleeves unfinished. White chalk marks near the cuffs. The background wasn't my apartment. Different tiles. A curtain behind me instead of a door. I zoomed in on the tag inside the collar. Handwritten. Same last name. Same handwriting style as the card. The timestamp said it was taken the same week as the date on the index card. I checked my bank statements from that year. There was a charge I didn't recognize. Cash withdrawal. Small amount. Same neighborhood as the shop. The next morning, I went back. The bell rang. Same smell. Same old guy. He didn't look surprised. I thought you'd come, he said. You usually do. I asked him to show me the jacket. He walked to the back without checking anything and pulled aside the curtain. The fitting room light was on now. Inside, on a hook, was the jacket from the photo. Dark blue. Chalk still faintly visible. It looked worn, like it had been handled, not stored. He handed it to me. The inside pocket had something folded in it. A receipt. No price. Just a date and a signature line.
my signature. I asked him why I never picked it up. He paused for a long time before answering. "You said you didn't need it anymore," he said. "You said it wouldn't be appropriate." "For what?" I asked. He looked at me carefully. "The service." I asked, "Whose service?" He shrugged. "I don't ask about that part." I put the jacket on. It fit perfectly, better than anything I owned. Sleeves exactly right. When I looked in the mirror, I noticed the shoulders were slightly padded. Subtle, but deliberate, like it was meant to change how I stood. I asked him to take it back. He shook his head. "Already paid." I asked how. He pointed at the receipt. "You paid in advance, same as last time." I left with the jacket, didn't know what else to do. That afternoon, another text came through from the blocked number. It showed up anyway. "Check the inside seam. You asked me to remind you." I turned the jacket inside out. Stitched into the lining, hidden near the spine, was a single sentence in faded thread. "If this fits, it's time." I didn't wear the jacket. I folded it and left it on a chair in the bedroom like it was something fragile. That night, I slept on the couch. Not because I was scared, because I didn't want to wake up standing somewhere else. In the morning, my phone calendar had a new entry. No notification, no email, just there. Thursday, 11:30 a.m. Service. Location field filled in automatically. Same street as the tailor, different building number. I checked my Google history. No searches, no directions. Nothing that would have added it. I deleted the event. It reappeared an hour later. I went to work, tried to keep the day normal. People talked to me like usual, but 2 different coworkers asked if I was dressed up for something later. I was wearing a hoodie and jeans. At lunch, I noticed a loose thread on my sleeve. Dark blue. I don't own anything that color. I left early and drove back to the strip mall. The alteration shop was closed, lights off, mannequins gone from the window, like the place had been cleared out overnight. The address from the calendar was 3 doors down, a narrow building with frosted glass and no signage. Just a paper notice taped inside the door. Private, please use side entrance. The side door was unlocked. Inside was a small waiting room, folding chairs, a coat rack, 3 jackets hanging there, all dark blue, all different sizes. Mine was already there. Tag on the sleeve, my last name. I checked the inside seam again. The stitched sentence was still there, but below it, newer thread had been added. "You said you'd forget." A man came out from the back, not the tailor, younger, clean suit, clipboard. He looked at me, then checked the rack. "You're early," he said. "That's good." I asked what this place was. He said, "You were told not to ask." I asked what the service was. He smiled, like that question came up a lot. "Adjustment," he said. "Continuity." I told him there was a mistake. He flipped a page on the clipboard and read aloud details about my life I'd never written down anywhere. Small things, habits, old injuries, the way I favored my left heel. He stopped and looked up. "This version is holding together better than the last one," he said. "Taylor did good work." I told him I was leaving. He nodded. "That's what you said before." I walked out. No one stopped me. The jacket was still on the rack when I left. That was months ago. Nothing dramatic happened after. No men following me, no more texts. But sometimes I'll catch my reflection in a store window and feel like I'm standing straighter than I remember, like my shoulders settle into place on their own. Last week, I found a dark blue thread in my laundry again. Calendar reminder popped up this morning. Service completed. No date, no location. Just marked as done. You've heard the posts they couldn't delete from their conscience. That was LurmoStories, and now those memories are part of yours too. Try not to think about which story felt the most real.